Well, looky here. We got us a few horror fans. Let's see if we can get a few more. Excuse me. Now that's better. Welcome, welcome, you dark things. Here we have the best horror of 2025 so far. These aren't in any particular order like best of the best or bottom of the best other than when I saw them. Hopefully you'll hear a few that you haven't seen and know exactly what to watch next. Now, no spoiling here. Time to sit down and glue your red, white, and sunken eyes to the screen for some spookies. Hard Eyes. Hard Eyes was the first great horror movie of the year for me, and boy was it a treat after seeing quite a few duds and picks that just didn't try hard enough. Hard Eyes makes you feel that warm tingle inside you when you see a pretty girl and you just want to give it to her, Jason style. Horror has no issue doing holiday-themed movies just like any other genre, but 90% of them are dog shit, and only a few of those are so bad that they're good. The other 10% are legit good horror movies, mostly slashers. And what do you want in a slasher? Good creative kills that are plentiful and bloody.
Check.
But this is set around Valentine's Day, so you are expecting some romance.
Check.
But this is also a dark comedy, so you are also expecting some laughs.
Check-a-rooney.
And I'm gonna double down on the humor. There has been a fuck ton of dark comedies that have come out this year, and I think Hard Eyes definitely has the laughs. The Gorge.
You need to stop what's in the Gorge from coming out.
I know these are two movies with romance in them back to back, but I swear I have not become pussy whipped.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
They're just really good movies. I know this one is a bit divisive, but I don't give a good golly shit. Some people might be mad because they didn't like the movie because it was trying to do too much, and some people might be mad because they wouldn't consider this a horror movie. And I get both. I really do. And here is my response.
I hate you!
I'm just kidding. I thought the action, romance, and horror in this movie were all done well. You got likable characters that you don't mind daydreaming about getting their freak on for the romance parts.
Giggity. What? Nothing. It's stupid.
Action scenes with people who look like they know what the fuck they are doing, and a subterranean 1/3 of the movie where creative monsters come out to play. Now, would I have loved more monsters and spooky scenes? Why, yes, of course. But I think we still got enough to satisfy my horrific delights. And if you got someone who you want to get a little freaky with, and they don't want to watch a ton of blood on the screen like in Hard Eyes, The Gorge will satisfy all parties. And maybe a little after the movie is over.
You don't care.
The Monkey. Another dark comedy on this list is The Monkey, based off of the Stephen King short story, which I of course have read.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Hey, this ain't a reading channel. Yet. Probably never. The Monkey is bloodier than Hard Eyes, has the creative kills of Final Destination Bloodlines, and the humor of Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. So it's not your traditional movie. The first chunk of it has a lot of narration going over the main character's childhood, but stops when we get caught up to the present. The creative kills and the humor go hand in hand in this flick. I could not be remembering it very well, but I am pretty sure most all of the humor in this movie happens during the kills. And that kind of leads to my one critique of the flick that I think a lot of people would also have. The humor is all the same.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
The kinds of jokes you will witness are kinda one note.
Disappointed!
Yeah, so there will be a crazy kill, and then humor, kill, then humor, and over until the movie ends. Still a fun ride though. Give it a watch. The Parenting.
I have to let the dogs out.
What dogs?
Frick, frack, and fuck if I know.
The Parenting is about a young gay couple going away to a cabin and having their parents meet for the first time. Now, you may have seen a similar setup before.
He is a handsome little fucker.
See?
Oh no, he's not a fucker.
Yeah, no.
But this movie has the twist of a haunted house demon possession, and it is pretty funny.
Nice.
I will even add that the scary parts actually got me a time or two. This is definitely a movie that I have not heard really anyone talk about, so hopefully this is the next hidden gem on your watch list. There is also a mid-credit scene. Locked.
Help me!
Locked is a classic case of A-list heavy hitter actors taking a pay cut to do something fun. What's fun about Locked? Well, it's Anthony Hopkins acting like Jigsaw, the trap, a car. The victim, Bill Skarsgård, and he is trying to steal the car or just anything in the car for a quick buck, only to find out that once he gets in, he can't get out.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Now, I don't want to set the wrong expectations here. This isn't as extreme as Saw. Anthony Hopkins isn't turning on green lights inside the car right before a 200-year-aged drill pulls Bill Skarsgård's stomach right out of his asshole.
Disappointed!
But don't you worry, Anthony is clever and Bill is a fighter. If you like contained horror thrillers with a small cast, Locked should be your next watch. And 7 Feet Under is your next subbed channel. The Ugly Stepsister. The Ugly Stepsister is the story of Cinderella.
Don't ruin it for me.
It's in the title. But the difference here is that it's from the perspective of one of the sisters, the pig-faced one.
You douche.
This isn't a movie for everyone, definitely a cinephile type. It's a very artsy movie that has some very deep messages on a story based off of a grim fairy tale. What puts this in the horror category is, well, it's not a scary movie per se, but it is dark and brutal. And if you like shows like The Nick, where you see the early and hard to watch days of experimental surgeries, The Ugly Stepsister has plenty of those, and also plenty of nudity. Just saying. Sinners.
And what is it we supposed to be doing?
Being kind to one another.
Who the fuck hasn't seen Sinners? No! Yeah, this movie made a serious amount of money. Yes, it's a big standout mostly because it's an original story in the horror genre, but if this was like a superhero movie, it would have bombed. But hey, I'm glad it made money. I think it earned it. This movie, however, isn't without its flaws. In fact, I think it has plenty. If you want to hear more about those, you can check out my full review on my channel. But to keep it brief, this is also not really a scary movie. The villains are kinda in the back seat for a huge majority of the film. They still do a great job, but I was left wanting so much more than what we got. Despite my complaints and bitching, I still gave this movie an 8 out of 10. Every movie on this list I would give either an 8 to 10 out of 10 rating. Final Destination, Bloodlines. What a fun ride. And no, I'm not talking about a plane ride. Or a car ride. Or a roller coaster. Or a bus ride. I am talking about Final Destination Bloodlines, the revamp of a franchise that is the perfect popcorn movie for horror fans. And there's a reason I didn't talk about any racetracks, because the less said about that one, the better. Final Destination Bloodlines is super fun. Want to know the secret to having fun with a movie like this? Right before the Rube Goldberg death scene, just picture a cartoon death rubbing his hands together and saying to himself, "Ooh, this is gonna be a good one." Or Ooh, this is gonna sound crazy in the papers. There really isn't anything that new in this flick compared to the others. Every now and then we get a new rule added into the mix, and even if you achieve to beat death, death is still gonna get ya. And sometimes he's a bit of a dick about it. That didn't even kill her. There really isn't any scene that I can think of that makes Death change how he kills people. It's really random when a person gets a quick death or a maliciously painful one. And it's a treat that Tony Todd had a nice send-off in the film. If you didn't know, this was the last movie that he was in before he died. It kind of makes you wish that he had more of a role in all of the movies. He's only in half of the 6, and he is the only constant in them since most all of the movies end with the main characters not making it. It would have been nice to go into each movie wondering when Tony was going to show up and reveal more about Death or how he knows so much. Maybe he could have been Death if all of these movies weren't one-offs. Anyways, it's fun. Bring her back.
What are you doing?
Oh, what a joy is it to end with Bring Her Back, an actual horror movie.
Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah!
I'll admit, I haven't seen every horror movie that has released this year, but up to this point, I have seen 45 movies in the horror genre this year so far.
Holy shnikes.
Not to boast, but yeah, I've seen many. And so far, this is the only horror film I've seen so far that I would actually consider great, that actually brings in the horror, dread, despair, and some shock value to the film. I did an experimental video on this one comparing it to the director's first film, Talk to Me, breaking down which is better, and nobody fucking watched it.
Disappointed!
But you live and you learn. I think this movie is better than Talk to Me because it's tighter, the monster or villain is scarier, it's got better scares, a higher kill count, higher stakes, and more likable lead characters. The performances knock it out of the park. I really can't think of a part of this movie that I didn't like. It's great. That's it. That's all the goodies I have for you kitties. Let me know if I've missed any, or just any that were on my shit list that you think should be on this list, or just fucking anything. You wanna talk anything horror? I'm your guy, or skeleton. Right here at 7 Feet Under, keeping it spooky.